This is for my sisters trapped in religion. Wake up and free the babies. sa.neter speak the truth, he's on a mission. Yeah. The house of consciousness, the final call. Will your Bible thumpers wake up or just fall? The house of consciousness, the final call. Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. I used to use the Bible like a lantern in the night, trying to wake up my sisters to the light. Yeah. The house is closing in and it's a total mess. You ignore my wisdom, the ultimate test. Step inside the showcase, the toughest terrain where the truth hits hard. The cut spring pain. I try to wake you with the word in my hand to get you to the truth, to help you understand. I gave you the scriptures, chapters and verse. I gave you the keys to break the curse. I gave you Torah to unlock with keys. Break the mental chains and be the house of consciousness. The final call. Will your Bible thumpers wake up or just fall? The house of consciousness. The final call. Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. Wake the sisters up with the fire in their soul, taking back the story, gaining full control. Get your mind right, leave the Bible behind. The Bible is not your history, your soul will be hard to find. Welcome to the HOK, where the truth resides. No more hiding in the pews where the die. We speak against the Bible just to wake the inner side. Come inside the HOK doors, we bring the light. The house of consciousness. Will your Bible thumpers wake up or just fall? Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. sa.neter, don't stop, wake the sisters up. Don't stop, wake the sister up. I won't stop, I won't stop, I won't stop. sa.neter, don't stop, wake the sisters up. Don't stop, wake the sister up. I won't stop, I won't stop, I won't stop.
Yeah. Y'all already know what it is. Peace and blessings to everybody out there. Y'all already know we got Miss Nicole in the building. Looking beautiful today, Miss Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I love it. Beautiful. Nice. So we're going to get it in today. I would like to show the people a different side of you, because we all know who you are and what you represent. We know you represent Donald Trump, but that's not what I'm coming at you with. We ain't going to deal with the political things. I would like to touch on some of the spiritual aspects, some of relationships. You know, I want the people to see you in a different light and get to know you on this type of level right here. And so, first of all, that piano behind you. Can you play that piano?
I can play the piano. I mean, I'm not like Beethoven or anything like that, but I can play the piano.
I'm live.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So you can play Beethoven and stuff like that?
No, I said I'm not like Beethoven.
Oh, okay.
I wish. Yeah, the piano we used to all play it, but I got it for my kids. So I hired like a teacher to come to the house and teach the kids
Right.
the piano and write music and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So let's step right into it. Let's get right into it. And the first question I would like to ask you, so we could get to know who is Miss Nicole, AkA Misunderstood. Do you think religion is necessary for a person to have a strong moral compass?
No.
Elaborate.
No.
Go in on that.
Because I think that religion is made up. That's not how it was intended to be.
All
If
right, you've been
you
listening to me. That's
are
good.
a
That's
good
good.
person and you have morals, I know a lot of decent people that don't have religion. So no, I think that religion is good for people that need that, but it's man-made. That's not, we don't have to do that. No, because I'm a good person, but I don't belong to a particular religion, so to speak.
Okay. Now, you know, religiosity and spirituality are totally two different things. So, are you a spiritual person?
I believe in God. I believe in
Okay.
God.
Okay, you're a spiritual
I'm
person.
spiritual. I do things, you know what, sa.neter? I meditate. I believe in meditating, taking time out for myself. I'm always in the mountains. I'm always, I'm at peace with my surroundings. I do believe in God, but I don't follow a particular religion. If I treat you right, if I'm kind, when I see people and they need to eat, I feed them. I do the right thing.
How does your spiritual life influence your daily decisions and goals?
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything intentional to hurt you. I think that spirituality is being in touch with yourself and treating people the way you want to be treated. So as long as I'm doing that, then I'm following what we're supposed to do. You're not supposed to treat people any other way than you want to be treated yourself. So that's what I'm going to do.
Right. I feel you. If you can ask the creator one question about the origin of man, what would that be?
What his intention was when he created us.
When his intention was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. Because looking at the way things are now, it just seems like we're in a really evil and corrupt world. But I would like to know what his intentions were. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you on that. You can elaborate a little more if you want to.
That was kind of tough because what would I ask in the beginning? Just what would he want for us? But I believe that we were here to worship God, and but why were we put here? I don't know, because I'm not God. I can't think like God. I guess if he was here, I would ask him that. I don't know. I think that's all I would ask him.
How do you reconcile the difference between religious paths that all claim to lead to the same truth? Like you got Islam, you got Seventh-day Adventists, you got the, Jehovah's Witnesses, and all of these religions all come and say that this is the true religion of God. This is who you're supposed to follow. That's confusing.
I think that when you take the religion, okay, so let's take the Bible. There's going to be people that interpret it different, and we have a bunch of different people with a bunch of different cultures. They're going to adapt, and it's going to be how they see things. Even if it's not how things were intended, it's going to adapt that way. So just when you have different people, I mean, that's why I don't do the religious thing. I'm more how you treat people, because you have people that say that they're religious, but they're mean. They're mean as hell. They're evil.
Facts. I agree with you. Yep. Yeah. I want you to know, I want you to open up, and you can go in and speak how you want to speak.
I will. You know, it's funny when you come up with the religious questions, because I recently got into that, right? I always believed in God, but I recently, just because I needed something else, I needed something that felt comforting, fulfilling. I just felt like I was missing something. So I just recently started to develop like my Christianity, but I don't go to church and do all those things. Sometimes I do, but I just, so I don't like being around people. So for me to go around people would be really hard for me because I get anxiety. I worry that things are going to happen. So I believing in God and knowing that, okay, if Nicole is a good person and a decent person, then I'm right with God. I really feel that that's all he requires of me.
Right. Let me ask you this. What specific scripture or teaching do you find most difficult to apply to modern life?
That I'm supposed to forgive everyone. But I know that I'm supposed to forgive if God's going to forgive me. But I find it hard because you could do something to me. So I take it like this. If you do something to me that's so harmful to me that it causes me problems, and it doesn't even have to be physical. I'm not talking about physical. It could be emotional. It could be I'm with you and you did me so wrong that I can't really get over that, but I'm supposed to. So what I do is I do forgive in my heart. Might take me a minute, but I do. But I can't let you back in. So is that spiritual? Is that, maybe it's not, but I got to that point where I don't let people in anymore. And I don't have a hard heart. You know me. I have a very generous heart and soft heart. But because of that, I'm not letting you in. But the Bible is telling me that, I'm kind of more like eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But that's the Old Testament. That's not the New Testament. So I'm supposed to forgive. But that's right. Going to be hard for me. It's going to be hard for me if you harm a child. You do something to a child. I'm supposed to look at you like you could be forgiven. I don't feel that you should be forgiven. But that's not for me to say. I feel that you should get the same.
It is for you to say.
Yeah, you should have the same thing
go ahead.
That you did to that innocent child because you changed that child's life forever. But that's not scripture, because who am I to judge? Right.
One day, I remember you wanted to debate me.
Lord.
On the Bible. You wanted to debate me.
I still could debate you anytime on religion, but go ahead.
I wouldn't even do this to you. But one day we're gonna have to go in the back chat, right? And I'm gonna have to really show you some scriptures.
And I'll show you some too.
You think you know scriptures, but trust me, Miss Nicole. Okay. I'm gonna show you some ugly things in the Bible that God said is all right to do. And I'm gonna let you read it for yourself. You see?
None of you underestimate me. You underestimate me because I may be newer, but I am so strong. I have faith. I have faith. So you asked me about religion, but I do have faith.
All right, I got you.
I can argue with the best of them. I can, because I know this. When I needed comfort and there was nobody there, all I had was my belief in God. That's it. There was no one there. I had no friends. I had no. When I say no one, I mean,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's all I had.
Spirituality.
If I didn't have my faith, if I didn't have that, then who knows where I would have been.
You had spirituality. I got you.
I don't see it as spiritual. Is it spirituality? Is that what you would call it? Is that what you would call spirituality?
Yeah, and see, what you had was the strength in yourself. You had the strength and the willpower to do. You are Aries. So we are strong. We strong.
I don't think people realize that. So sometimes people will see this panda face, thinking it's sweet, but I can only take so much.
Right.
I'll get you together. But I have a big heart, and I honestly believe if I hurt you, it's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me. It's going to make me feel a certain kind of way. But I've been hurt by people that call themselves Christians. That's why I'm reluctant. When I say that I'm a Christian, I'm not talking about I'm going to go to church and all that. I believe in God. But there's some people that came to me under the guise of Christianity, and they were so evil. And I'm not trying to talk bad on Christianity. I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
But they could have really caused me harm. They weren't Christians. They wanted a lot of things from me. They wanted money. They wanted to control me, date me, all kinds of weird things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like some people, when you're going through something, you got to turn somewhere, and a lot of people will turn to the church. So it's hard but you got to realize in church it's just like anywhere else. There's good people and there's bad people even in church. So what do you do with that? It's hard to weed them out because you're just trusting. That's why I don't go to church.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Do you view God as a personal being or an abstract universal energy?
I believe I look at God, Jesus as the Son of God, and I leave it there. So
Right.
that's my Heavenly Father, and I don't go deeper than that because I believe in Occam's razor. I keep things as simple as possible when it comes to belief. That's kind of where the faith comes in. I just believe in God, and I need to have hope in something higher than myself, and that's been my hope.
Okay. Okay. You need something to have hope higher than yourself to keep you going. I got you. How has your understanding of the Word of God changed as you gotten older?
I don't have blind faith anymore. I don't have what my parents believe in. Number one, my parents were Catholic and Jehovah's Witness. So I was already a mess. Okay.
That's what you say, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were already, yeah. So it's just changed because I felt like when I meet someone, the first thing I want them to feel for me, if they have any engagement for me, is warmth. And I didn't always feel that. And I feel it doesn't matter if you call yourself Christians, doesn't matter what you call yourself. If you come across as evil, you miss the purpose, because it's got to be about people. It's got to be about not really what you can do for people. That's how I live my life, even if it's just with my kindness and just with my word. But there's some people that's very selfish, and I don't care what religion you're a part of. It's not supposed to be a selfish thing. You're supposed to come across as kind. You're supposed to come across as someone approachable. And sometimes you look at these women that call themselves Christians. Why are you playing? That call themselves Christians, and you don't even want to approach them. That's not me. I want you to feel my warmth.
Mm-hmm. So, there's one person in here that want me to turn up. I'm not going to turn up on Miss Nicole. He's saying, "Sir, why you playing?" I'm not playing. I'm not here to beat up on her, to tear down. I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to get the people to know who she is inside and out. All right. That's all. With this question, I don't bring in my guests to try to beat them up. And so I want y'all to be on standby tomorrow, because this one right here, this also Zaza Ali, is tomorrow at, I think 4:00 or 3:00. I got to look at it. It's set. This is going to be an awesome interview as well. All right. That's going to be another one that y'all got to tune into. I hope you tune into that, Miss Nicole. That'd be great.
I'm excited about
it. You'll be at work. I think you'll be at work. Do you believe,
in my ear? I'll listen.
Yeah. Do you believe faith is a matter of logic and evidence, or something strictly felt in the heart?
I think it's faith. I don't think everything could be explained. Because I have faith no matter what I feel like. Because sometimes I feel like, I can go to a dark place sometimes in my head, and I just have to know that things will get better eventually. So I can't always explain that. I just have to believe it. I have to hold on to it.
Okay. I want to switch over. I'm going to leave the religious stuff alone right now, because now I want to go into relationships. Let's talk about relationships for a minute.
It'll be easier. Okay.
Okay. What role should a man's family and community ties play in your relationship that you would want to be in your relationship?
A man is the leader.
Uh-oh.
A man is the one that, when I say provide for the household, a man provides for his household, but it doesn't mean that the woman doesn't have her role. It doesn't mean that the woman can't earn money and things like that, but the man sets the tone and we follow under that man. So if a guy can't do that, he's not going to hold my interest. And I think that women naturally want that, but we've been trained with society to be these strong, independent women. But that's when you have problems and conflicts with relationships. A woman follows the man, so you better choose a man that can lead.
That's great. Go ahead, go in. You going in right now. I like that.
Well, I listen to women that say, because I have all kinds of people come across my channel, and yeah, we mostly do politics over there, but still I have all kinds of people coming. But the woman that wants to lead the household and the woman that's like, I don't want kids, I don't want this and that, they're the most miserable, they're the most bitter and insecure, and they're jealous over other women that have families. And when a woman submits to her husband, what's the first thing they say? She's weak, she's brainwashed. But that woman is supposed to follow his lead. What good is it to have a woman that has her own agenda where she's doing all these things? Because you're supposed to work together and be a team, and a guy doesn't need his woman to beat up on him and criticize him. She's supposed to lift him up and be his helpmate. So if I was in a relationship with a guy, I would naturally be drawn to a guy that can lead. Now, I am an earner. I have my own income, but that man is still supposed to be the head of the household. Period. There's no other way that I would have it. That's the way I've raised my kids. That's the way I've raised my daughter. I teach my son that you're going to grow up. You have to earn an income because you're going to lead your household. And you have to choose a woman that's going to follow you.
Right. In terms of relationships, right? What is your thoughts on polygyny? Are you against polygyny relationships or are you with it?
I'm going to follow what my man wants. If I choose that guy, then I'm following his beliefs.
There you go. That's what's up. Strong one, strong sister right there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. When you look at a man, are you looking for who he is now or his potential for who he can become?
I think it's different for everyone. I think you have to look at the stage in life. I feel like this, and this is just, hear me out before you judge me.
Hey, go in.
I am going to look at who he is now. I'm going to look at the whole package. But if I fall in love with you, I don't even have to be in love yet. You could be a potential. You could be someone that I say, you know what, let's get to know each other. I'm not really worried about where you are now because I'm an entrepreneur and I know how to make money. I know all I need you to do is know where you're going. Okay. You got to be able to lead. So you can't be somebody, I'm not looking for a project, but wherever you meet a person, if you are truly meant for each other, no matter what stage you are in life, you can elevate together. I don't need you to complete me. Okay. I have to come to you complete. I have to come to you whole. I have to be able to present something, and I can present something. I have a lot to offer. My guy, if he loves me, then I'm supposed to see him for who he is right now. I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay. And he could be kind of a wreck a little bit, but I also have to look at what he can be, because if you can't grow with the person, sa.neter, like, what are you doing? This guy could be wealthy already. This guy could be poor. But if you're looking at him just at what he has now and what can you add to a relationship, then you're not going to grow. I don't feel like you're ever too old to grow. I don't feel like it's ever too late to get better. So I'm going to look at where you are now. Where are we going? I can't just say, where are you going? Because then you're going to leave me behind. So where are we going together? What can we do? Because I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that dream. I want to be a part of that goal. And I want you to be a part of what I'm doing and where I'm going. And I feel that some of the problem is when you get with someone, you want them to give you something that you don't have. But I'm just wondering, for a guy, why would he even choose someone like that? Now, I could see if she's like 18, 19, never been with anybody. That's different because that's what she's offering you. But once you're like an adult at a big age or whatever, then you have to have something to bring to the table. And if I'm looking for you to give me all these things and I don't have anything to offer you, then I don't feel a woman like that will ever be happy. I just don't. She'll always be waiting and she'll always be looking for more.
Yes, go ahead. I hear you going in. How do you balance the need for independence?
What do you mean? Do
The way
me.
you go ahead.
Thank you, Real Trump said. I see you. Thank you so much. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but as far as feeling independent, I'm independent now. But now I know that women are going to be mad at me for this one. The natural nature of a woman is to be with a man and a family. So it would be easy for me to say, hey, you know what? Everything's great, blah, blah. No, everybody wants to have someone. Independent, I'm independent now because I'm a single woman. So I'm independent now. So I don't need to balance anything. It's me. There's nothing for me to balance. I would gladly, now I'm not trying, listen, I don't want y'all in my DMs asking to date me or anything like that. Not that you would. I'm not saying that, but he's asking me if I was in a relationship. So for me, it's like this, like I said, the woman follows the man, but that doesn't mean that she can't have her own life, because if something happens to that guy, the king, look at chess. If something happens to the king, the queen's got to take over. So I have to be able to feel it. Let's say the guy gets sick and the guy can't provide any longer. Then Nicole I have got to be able to make sure our household keeps going. I've got to make sure that we eat, because we're going to eat. You see, I'm a chubby girl. We're going to eat. So I have to make sure that I'm able to take over. It doesn't mean that it diminishes his role, because he still has his mind. But if he's not able to bring home the bread, I got to go do it. So I know that I can still go out and work. I'm college educated. I have things to fall back on. I don't need to work on really independence, because I still have things that earn me money on my own. Regardless of what the guy's doing, I'm still earning on my own. That's really enough for me. Oh, I can't hear you. He's probably talking to.
See, this is the side I'm talking about. This is what I want people to see, that you are way more than just Donald Trump and dealing with the politics. We all know you love Donald Trump, but that's all good. I wanted to deal with other stuff so people could see a different side of you. How important is it?
1 second, sa.neter, my daughter's talking to me. Hang on.
All right, go ahead.
Girl, you better be careful with that. I have like this flannel, it's like this flannel jacket. This darn jacket, sa.neter, is like $600, and she's taking it like it's a regular flannel. It's because it's don't worry about it. So she's taking it to like this party, and I'm like, girl, you better be careful with that. Put it gently. But anyways, what are you gonna ask me?
Yeah. Let her know. Don't just put it down and walk away.
Yeah, don't leave it anywhere. You better lock that back up in the car. I had to have that anyway.
That's right. How important is it that a man has a specific or intellectual foundation?
How important is it for a man to have a specific or intellectual foundation?
Yes.
It's very important. I don't want to date no dummy.
Okay? There you go. Go ahead.
You don't have to keep up with me. You're not going to understand me. Now, I did not say that I love Donald Trump. I'm conservative. I was conservative before Donald Trump got in office.
Clear that up. You can clear that up.
I have to be conservative. And that was way before Trump. I believe in the Constitution. Now, I can't have a dumb guy, because he's not going to understand me. He's not, my daughter's show. He's not going to like me, because I'm intelligent. And if you get with somebody that is not, if you're not intellectually compatible with this person, think about it when you're talking to a woman. If you're trying to talk to her, she's not capable of understanding. It doesn't matter how much you break it down. She's not going to get you. And if you're not somewhere close to each other intellectually, that person has no way to know how you think, how you analyze, how you break things down. So if I'm talking to a guy and I could come up with the best business plan, this guy could be struggling. Let's say he just lost his job, and I'm like, wait a minute, we could do this and that. But if he's not intelligent enough to understand it, then I chose wrong, and I had to blame myself for that. I'm not going to choose somebody that can't communicate with me. I'm not going to choose somebody that can't interpret what I'm saying. I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to choose it. Intellectually, I prefer you're more intelligent than me, but I am an intelligent woman. I need you to be able to understand, and that's not his profession. That's the way that he thinks and analyzes, because you can work anywhere and you can be a darn Einstein, but you just happen to be working this job. But I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people as let's say a truck driver, use that job to build a business doing something else to where they're earning a passive income. So you can't judge a person's intellect off of his profession, but you can tell that somebody is intellectual. Number one, they understand humor, they understand sarcastic humor, they understand that things sometimes not said is still being said. So you can just tell when a person's intelligent, and it just means a lot to me because I think a lot. I think when my mind should be quiet, and I want someone that can enjoy that about me. But if you don't have any kind of substance and you're not on if you're not intelligent yourself, number one, I'm attracted. I am physically attracted to intelligence. That turns me on. So I like that. But
beautiful. That's nice.
I don't want to try to talk to someone that doesn't have any clue of what I'm saying, because we're gonna argue a lot and we're just not gonna get along. So that's not a good start.
Beautiful. And see, this is what I want the people to see. You see what the brother put, Twilight Zone? He said, beautiful mind, beautiful mind. See, they want to see you in a different light. That's what I'm talking about.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I think that, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I think that it's hard because women, social media has made it difficult because everybody's looking for the next best thing. And sometimes it's right in front of your face. And sometimes a man just needs a good woman to say, wait a minute, what about this? But it's important for that woman to not demean the guy. But sometimes with society, men have a lot of pressure and they can't really show emotion. So there's a lot of things at play. You will see the most average guy, and I've seen this myself, the most average, and I say average by society standards now with social media. And then all of a sudden you find that person, now he's shining. Now he's coming up with multiple businesses. And then you got the women that passed him up that's like, wait, I had him first. I want him. So it's just the person that you fall in love with him. Fall in love with him, because if that man loves you, he's going to provide for you. He's going to want to provide for you. And it's really a beautiful thing. That's why I said it doesn't really matter where you are now. Have some ideas. Be able to lead. Be able to lead, because a woman's going to be drawn to that. And then you guys grow together. And that's what builds a relationship.
Hey,
Hey, Donut. Hi.
Brother D. Shabazz. Why are you telling me to be very careful, Elder sa.neter? Why are you saying that? Be very careful. What are you talking about? Careful of what, brother? Be careful of what? Y'all dudes is crazy as hell, man. Be very careful.
They can ask me whatever they want. It's good.
Yeah, but be careful, brother sa.neter. Oh, man. I think I know what he's saying. He's saying, oh, man, you got a beautiful woman in front of you. Be careful, brother. Be careful. You know, that's crazy.
That's good all right. I'm good. Yeah, I don't mind the comments. I've been very public with things, and most people that have followed me, that I don't know that person that's in your chat, I've been very public with things. I stand by everything I say, and it has made women mad. And that's why I was kind of laughing when you asked me that. I was like, oh, sa.neter, you're not going to ask me. Because, you know, you always hear I'm a strong, independent woman. And I'll come back like, yeah, but you're lonely. And that's why you're so bitter and hateful.
Wow.
We're not supposed to be by ourselves. We're nurturers. We need someone to nurture. We're nurturers by nature. But when you get away from that, then you get the anger. So some of these women that never smile, I go around like, you know, happy. They call me dingy, but no, when you follow nature in the way that things are supposed to be, then you feel peace. And that's where peace comes from for a woman.
Right. That's correct. So let me ask you, what type of support or encouragement are you chasing? What type of support or encouragement do you need from a man when you are tracing your goals or your dreams?
Well, for me, if you know anything, it's got to be sobriety first. So everything I do is surrounded by that. So right now, I'm not really chasing anything because I'm so focused on that. But if I were to find it, and if that person could understand that part of my life that I've overcame, then I would feel good. So I'm not really chasing anything. I'm focusing on my goals. I'm focusing on finishing school and making sure that if that time comes, I'm ready for it. That's what I'm focused on.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, what kind of support would you want from your man?
He's got to support
While
my
you're chasing your goals and dreams.
He's got to support that. He's got to support. I want a guy to believe in me the same way I'm gonna believe in him. I'm very open about that.
Your emotions, because I'm quite sure you get emotional and stuff like that. You might break down one day when you think you ain't doing good.
Oh, I see what you're asking me.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't want a guy to tell me
feel like you ain't at the top of your level right now, or you can't do this or do that.
Yeah. I don't want a guy to tell me to be strong when I'm emotional because I could be, if I feel like crying, I'm gonna cry. I just want a guy.
You want him to keep you, push you, and stay right there to tell you, yo, you can do this, baby. You got it. Just keep it going. Stuff like that. What type of support you expect from him?
Listen.
While you tracing your goals and your dreams.
Yeah, I'm chasing my goals and my dreams right now because I'm single, so I have to do that. What else am I focused on? If I was in a relationship, then that guy is supposed to be my support system. He's gotta be my rock. If I want to cry, if I'm emotional, if I'm pretty level-headed. I am, but there are things that hit me pretty hard too, especially when I see stuff happening in the world or if something happens to me. That's why I said it's kind of hard for the guy because he's got to be strong and he's got to be able to bring that comfort. Even if he doesn't feel like it, he's got to be able to make sure, I want that guy to be my best friend. So my best friend is going to want me to feel better. So he's got to cheer me up. And if I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I want you, maybe to not extent, but I want you to feel that too. I want you don't have to cry with me, but at least look like you understand. Right?
Right. I got you. What is the definition of a healthy partnership and how do you envision roles being shared?
He's the provider. He sets the tone for the home. I make sure the home is okay. And however you decide to split whatever in the home, you might say, hey, you pay this. We're going to go in 50-50, blah, 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 blah. But he's the one that goes out and hunts. I need him to do that. I need him to know that, hey, you have to provide for your woman. And I am a support system. I'm a helpmate. So you have to tell me what you want. What do you need me to do? Every guy's not the same. It's not like a one size fits all. Some people may have it all. They don't need you to participate in the bills or whatever. I don't find that common in 2026. Hey, Nepal. Wait. Hey, Nepal. My beautiful sis. The role, so it's not a one size fits all. It's what do you need and can we do this together? And the woman has to decide if she's willing to accept that. For me, I just need you to understand and to know what you need. And I could tell you if I could write that. These are questions that in the very early stages of any relationship, I talk about finances and I talk about what you want. So thank you. I love Sister Nepal. They're like my biggest support system. And when sa.neter asked me to come over, I'm like, yes, we haven't touched bases in so long, and things are so different. Things are so different now.
Yes. Finish saying what you were saying.
It's not a one size fits all. Everybody needs something different, and I have been in a position to where wherever a guy is, I can pretty much blend in, because for me, if I feel chemistry with you, I've been with wealthy, I've been with average, I don't care, because I have my own too. Like I can take care of myself if nothing else. So I don't need that. If I get with the person, the first thing I want to know is what you need. If we decide to build a life together, then it's really up to the guy because he's the leader. So he knows where he's taking you. He knows where he wants you to go. He has an idea. So he has to be able to communicate with that woman of what he needs her to do. Now, naturally, the woman takes care of the home and the kids if they have kids. But when it comes to like finances and breaking up the responsibilities, that's a communication thing that you have to work out with your partner.
Mm-hmm. How do you prefer a man to handle conflict or disagreement?
Everybody's different, sa.neter. It's not a one size fits all. It's not a one size fits all. I've seen people handle things.
It depends on the situation. I got what you're saying. It depends on the situation or the conflict that you're going up against.
The only thing I don't want to happen, because everybody's different and it depends on a conflict, is I never want to come across as like, we don't care, we don't love each other. We're going through something right now, and this moment's going to pass. So I can't have that grudge in my heart forever if this guy tells me something that I really don't like. But a man is designed to lead without his emotions. So a woman is emotional. So there comes a point to where I have to trust this guy. That's why you have to choose right. Because I can be emotional and say, oh my God, we should be doing this and we should be doing that. And the guy's like, wait, that's not good. And it can cause conflicts. But there's so many different things that can come up in a relationship. To me, the biggest problem is finances, because that's the number one cause of divorce. So when it comes to conflict, I think that you have to be able to adjust to what the guy sets as the standard. And then a woman, it's about communication. So we have to be able to communicate. As long as I can communicate with you and we can come to an understanding, like both of us come to an understanding, then that's how I want to be able to handle it.
Okay. Why is misunderstood nervous again? and see what they saying? Look, why is misunderstood nervous again? She's acing this.
Hey, Doc.
You're going in on this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what's up right there. That's what's up right there. Let me ask you this. Oh man, this is a deep question here. Let me ask you this now. Think about this. What is your non-negotiables that would cause you to walk away regardless of chemistry?
You can't hurt a child. You can't do anything to physically harm.
Good answer.
You can't repair.
I like that.
If you hurt me, I can be repaired because I'm in it for the long haul. If you hurt a child, you change that child's world. And
Perfect answer. I love it. Yep. Go ahead. Go in. Keep going in. I just love that answer right there.
Some women will say, oh, if my guy do this, if my guy do that. But if I make a commitment to be with you, then I'm going to be with you. I'm going to write it out. I mean, we might have to change our living situations. We might have to change our comfort. But my non-negotiable is going to be that child, because I've seen kids hurt, and I know that I was hurt as a child, and I won't put that on somebody else, and I won't watch my mate do it, because that child will never be whole again. I don't care how much therapy. You have changed the chemistry of that child's brain, and you have changed that child forever. So would I want to be a part of it? No, that's going to be somebody else's journey. You now have to go and find somebody willing to accept that, and that's your journey. That's the day that we will part ways.
Beautiful, beautiful answer. I love that. Yep. What core value must a man possess for you to consider a serious future with him?
Dang. I almost said he's gotta love me, but that's not enough. That's not enough. If we're digging each other and there's natural chemistry, I'm gonna build on that. So that the core value is he's got to be a leader. I will not fall in love with somebody that cannot lead a household and that cannot that I can't. I'm attracted to a person that I can follow, and I don't care who says that makes me weak. I don't care. You're not going to even draw my attention. So with that being said, it does not matter what your profession is. I could see past that. It doesn't matter what you do. I want to see if you can a woman don't need you to tell them that they're a leader, because if you tell me that, I'm like, nah, you're trying to fool me. because a leader possesses the characteristics that's going to make a person want to follow just naturally. You can tell. And as you're talking to that person, you can know that's going to grow. But that's what's going to get my attention in the first place, because I don't have all the answers. I don't want to have all the answers, but I want to know that we have a secure relationship to where if he's setting the tone, that I'm allowed to be a feminine woman and I'm allowed to do what I need to do. And then I'm going to accomplish my goals, because that's one less thing. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry that I'm coming up with all this stuff and it might harm my family, because the guy's going to be like, hey, slow it down. This isn't working out. So I just need him to possess that quality. And if we can have chemistry, then everything else will grow from there.
All right. Beautiful. Love it. What does emotional intelligence look like to you in a partnership?
How do you act when you're under pressure? If you're hurting, or like, are you going to fall apart? Can you pull it together for us?
Damn, Nicole, you killing the questions. You going in. You knocking this joint out the park like this ain't nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, is that what you think? No, no. But that's what it looks like. How do you act? I want to see how you act when things are tough. How you gonna do it? And I don't care if my guy cries. I don't care if he feels sad and he feels scared, because I'm gonna hold your secrets. But I want to see, to me, how do you get past that? How are you able to reason? How are you able to connect with me? Emotional intelligence is just as important as anything else on that. Is because you don't want a guy that lacks that. If we're facing some tough times, trust me, women worry, but we've got to be able to get through that. And I've got to make sure that he's emotionally mature enough to handle what's going to come up in life.
You know what, Nicole? I might need some counseling. Because I've never cried in public. It's hard for me to cry in public. And I see many men cry in public. It don't make you less of a man. But for me, I've never cried in public. Even when I lose loved ones and I go to the funeral, I never cry in public, and everybody is around and they crying. And when I'm home or if I'm by myself, it'll come out. I'll just sit back and just cry. But I can't remember whenever I cried in public. What do you think that is?
When I see people that's leading the world, leading the country, no matter, we really don't know how they feel, because they don't show it. I'm sure they show it to their wives and behind closed doors, but somebody has to be the strong one. So what you said was you don't cry in public, but you didn't say you don't cry.
Right.
You didn't say that. So as everyone knows, because I'm that one that's going to cry in public. Okay. I can't help it.
Oh, see, look at that. Look at you.
I'm going to cry. I'm a crier. But some people are just natural born leaders, and some people develop it along the way. Nevertheless, people are going to look for that calm face and that face, and maybe you're just used to being that voice of reason. That when it's like, hey, I mean, you guys do a lot in the community.
I kind of know. I know what it is. It's like you said, when you're the head of the family, and I got my children around, I got my wife around, my wives around, and I got my family, and so I got to be strong for them. But like when I lost my sisters, I lost my mother, I didn't shed no tear there. But when I got home and I'm alone and I'm in the dark, and that's when it all comes out. I don't make a sound like, it just all comes down, and I just put my head down and it just come out. That's what it is.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get that.
What role does sisterhood play in your life?
Right now, or how I would want it to be?
Right now.
I don't really have any women around me. A lot of women don't get along with me, don't really understand me or get me or whatever. And I feel that sisterhood can be evil and mean, because they only accept a certain group of people and then they leave some out if they don't fit into a little box in their square. And you don't, you could come from a different background. You could have went through certain things and they don't accept you. So sisterhood is like, okay, we all agree with everyone, and we're gonna leave this one out, ostracize her, make her feel a certain kind of way. I haven't seen a healthy sisterhood.
Some of them could be jealous of you, envious of you, want what you got, stuff like that. So it's hard for you to bond a healthy sisterhood.
Yeah, they'll come up with a lot of. I've seen a lot of just lies, and women. When I look at sisterhoods, they accept people that are a certain kind of way, and then they come up with this high moral standard for everyone else but themselves and their little group. When it's their group and people that they like, especially when you look online at social media, then it's their group and who they like, they give them a lot of grace. If you're outside that group, they want to scrutinize you, criticize you, put you down. That's what I've seen with the sisterhood. I could be friends with a woman. We can have a friendship, but as far as the sisterhood goes, I'm not a part of anybody's sisterhood, nor do I want to be, hey, Jerome, nor do I want to be a part of anybody's sisterhood.
Okay, beautiful. All right, now, I asked you 20 questions, and we only got like 51 minutes in. And these are the one. Damn, I can't show it because of the screen.
Oh, because of your backdrop.
Right. But these are questions right here I have for Sister Zaza Ali. So I'm going to go into the Zaza Ali questions. I'll just write some more down for her.
Okay.
So, because I don't want to end the show.
We went through all your questions?
Huh?
We went through all your questions pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, we went through 20 of them. That's why I was saying, just take your time. You ain't got to rush it. Take your time. That was 20 good questions I got you, and you answered them. You knocked them right out the box. So, let me ask you this now. I'm going into Zaza's questions, but I'll just write some more for her. What is one thing you wish more people understood about women's experiences?
A lot of women could be traumatized by things and not really understand it. And sometimes that affects how women act today. It's kind of hard women are judged harshly.
Excuse me. My bad. I was thinking about your name when I said misunderstood. The question is, what is one thing you wish more people understood about women's experience?
They're not all the same. And some women just have different experiences, different upbringings than other. I feel that people are very critical of women, and I just wish that people would understand that, a lot of how a woman comes out to be now has to do with how she brought up, whether she experienced abuse, whether she was assaulted in some kind of ways, then she's going to turn out to be a certain kind of way. So maybe we shouldn't be so quick to judge. You don't have to deal with every woman, but at least have an idea of where she came from.
Mm-hmm. What is a fear you've overcome that made you feel empowered?
You seriously gonna ask me that? You're gonna ask me that. A fear that I have to be honest. A fear that I've overcome is that I remember when I was trying to get sober and people telling me that I was never gonna get there. That I'm not saying everybody told me that. I'm not saying that because I had people that supported it. So I was afraid that what if they were right, because I was sick and I couldn't pull myself out of a place at that time when I was really sick. And there was all kinds of people around me, all kinds of people trying to meet me and talk to me. And I knew they weren't in my best interest, but I was just really sick. And I was afraid that I could never pull it together. And if I ever pulled it together, how was I going to live? How was I going to make up for lost time? You can't make up for lost time because time is one thing you can't get back. So I was really afraid. I was afraid that I couldn't make something out of my life. I couldn't be, my kids have always loved me. I've always been present in my kids' life. But I was afraid that I would let everybody down, like my family, my daughter, when you see her big brown eyes, when I'm looking at my daughter, I was afraid that, man, she's going to know if I can't put it together. And when I got really sick, which was 5 years ago, I got really sick. and I almost lost my life. And I remember lying there thinking that, man, this is it. This is gonna be my legacy. There's not. I remember all of that stuff. Like, there's no tomorrow. And I told myself, if I do pull through, I'm not gonna keep these experiences. Now I'm lying there, not able to even move. Like, I was sick, right? I was under a doctor's care at this time. And I was like, man, this can't be my legacy. And I remember saying, man, if I ever got up, number one, you're not going to be able to stop me. I'm lying there. And I just said, I want to make sure that I recover out loud. That's why when you look at my community wall on YouTube, I usually post my milestone. I got 1 year. So I started at, you guys, I started at like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I was kind of at a week. Those videos are still up. I'm like, wow, you guys. So then you remember, I'd be like, they would call me. I'll be going on there. I'll be on their channel. This is all public. So I remember we spoke, I had 3 days or 4 days sober. And then the next time I had a week, and then a month, and then a month. And then finally I hit a year, and then 2 years, and then 3 years. But I told myself that I was going to recover out loud for that person that didn't have a voice or a platform. I wanted them to see that. I mean, I had nothing. Like, I was really bad. I lost my mind. I couldn't type. I couldn't put like a sentence together. I got really bad. And I remember the ridicule that I was getting because this was so public. And I told myself, number one, I know I'm intelligent. If I were to get better, I'm not going to let anybody shame me. Well, number one, I wasn't really the one that brought my sobriety story to YouTube. But when it came here, I embraced it. But I relapsed publicly because I was sharing my early stages of sobriety. And I was just afraid that this would be it, that nobody would understand. And so as I started to get healthier, I still had that fear because my mind wasn't there. I couldn't think, I couldn't speak. And I didn't really share this with anybody because I knew that they would probably make fun of me. So I had to learn how to do a lot of things again. I had therapists, I had medical doctors, and a lot of people telling me that, I don't know, maybe this is, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. Once I hit 2 years sober, that's when I decided to go back to school because I wanted to exercise my mind and I knew that I could do it. But I told myself this on it. I was like, despite that fear, I still had to do it. If you guys are afraid of something, do it afraid. That's what I told myself. And I decided that I was going to, even if my commentary changed, I was always going to revisit the sobriety thing because I know that other people have that fear. And I've been able to regain everything that I've lost back. It may not look the same, but I have my mind. I have that career now that I went to school for. I'm still in school, about to get my bachelor's in psychology. And I have a studio. I'm doing so much. So my fears were still there. I'm still afraid, but I don't want to lose part of that fear because that fear is what kept me going to try to overcome that. And I've achieved a lot, even afraid.
Do you remember what I used to always pound in your head constantly?
Okay.
I used to always pound it in your head. See, I remember how people was trying so hard to make you relapse. They kept saying, she's not going to do it. She can't do it, y'all. Look at what's going to do. She going to do this. And they kept trying to get you, picking at you, banging on you. And so I called you and I was like, misunderstood. You can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. The power exists within you. And I used to always tell you that all the time. Yo, you can do it. You strong. You are Aries. I was going in, right? I was like, you are Aries. You can do this. This is the power exists within you. You got to want to stop. Nobody else is not going to want you. They want you in this state, but you got to want to stop. Do it for, if you can't do it for you, look at your daughter, look at your son, look at your children. You got to do this. And I would always pound that in your head. And then I would see your videos and you would say 1 year sober. And I was like, damn, that's what's up. Then I see you with 200, such a days sober. And I was like, there you go. And I would say, there you go. I told you could do it. The strength it exists within you. See, so people didn't know that I've been in the background a lot. And I used to always be talking to you all the time, breaking that down to you, And look at you today. Look at you.
That is so true. And when you were telling me that was in the time. That was the time. See, my chat knows. Zero knows. They know. That was the time that I was so sick, and people were cash apping me to money to buy drugs, or telling me that I didn't need to be sober because I could afford to use. I wasn't that addict, and that's true. I could afford it. I wasn't that addict that needed to stop because I'm not harming anyone. And when your mind is sick, I mean, I was believing this stuff, right? But in the early stages of my sobriety, sa.neter was there telling me I could do it. Don't listen to these people. And I would hear him, but I wasn't really that strong. So I really do appreciate people. sa.neter is one huge one. I always tell my chat, you guys are my biggest supporters. You and Nepal, salad. I will never think anything bad, because now I'm healthy. I can speak. I'll get you together. But in those days, I couldn't. So I remember who encouraged me, who stood by me. Even there were some dark times, you guys. There were some really bad times, because when I say I was not well, I was not well at all. My mind wasn't right. I couldn't even really communicate with you. But sa.neter would tell me that no matter what, I couldn't pick up. And sometimes I would tell him, he was the one I could say, like, you know what, this ain't gonna work out today. I don't think I'm tomorrow. Forget it. No, sis, just hold on one more day. Just hold on one more day. Even with school, I don't even know if sa.neter remember this. And I was like, forget this. I'm dropping out of school. Forget this.
I remember.
Everybody's talking about me anyway. Forget this. They're all saying I'm stupid and blah, blah, blah. And what happened to that girl with all that money? Blah, blah, blah. They're just talking so much crap. And I was like, still in the early stages, if you guys know anything about addiction, it takes a while. Well, especially when I was using, right? It takes a while. Your mind is so messed up, because I suffered from a 20-year addiction.
When you said you was going to drop out of school, you remember what I said to you?
Don't.
That's right.
I was never ready. And I was like, get this.
I said, keep going, because this is right here is going to take your mind off of all of that stuff. This is going to keep your mind busy. So don't do it. I kept telling you, don't drop out. And look at you now. You're working in the doctor's office. You're doing great. All right, she'll be back. She dropped off for a minute. She'll be back on. Yeah, so this is the other side of Miss Nicole that y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? And what y'all don't know is me and Nepal, we did an interview with her daughter when her daughter was young, was a baby. Her daughter driving now. Her daughter's driving cars and everything now. You know what I'm saying? But we interviewed her daughter when times was hard. See, so yeah, that's what it is. Do y'all have any questions y'all would like to ask her, or what? Or no, I don't even think I need to drop the link for y'all, man.
My dog chewed my power. Wait, can you see me?
Yes.
My dog chewed my power cord, so I had to grab my spare power cord. Like,
oh man.
No, but you were there, and that's something that every time I can say thank you to you and Nepal. So I was glad to see Nepal in the chat, because I am so grateful. And I'm not saying that just because I'm talking to you. I say this to my chat. I say this when it's just us at night, and there's like, we could be talking about Trump, and I'll be like, you know what? Because during my streams, I usually share a small part of sobriety every time, and I say, I don't care what you guys say about them. They were there. You guys were there with school. You were there right after I got sober. Like, okay, you got to keep going. You may not feel good. It's gonna get better.
Yeah, because this keeps your mind going, and it keeps your mind off of all the other stuff. So if you're constantly busy, you don't even thinking about that. You're thinking about your work, and about the time you get off work, you tired.
I'm so tired.
See, you ready to go home?
I'm so tired. I'm like, what?
Get in the bed. Yep. So you was like, yo, I'm ready to get out of here. I'm like, nah, hell no, you're not. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Probably when I graduated and I got that certificate, I was just like, no, I'm used to this routine, so I'm gonna go back to school and finish it. And because see, before I got addicted, so okay, I was in the military. I got out the military and I went to college, right? And I already started my psychology degree. I only had a year left, so now I'm just finishing it. So it feels really good. It feels really good to be able to finish these things. So once I got my certificate, got the job, I wanted to work in healthcare. I wanted to work this. I'm doing what I wanted to do. And at first I was like, no, I can't do this. I really didn't believe I could do it. And now I'm doing it. And now, you know,
I always believed in you. I knew you could do it. And that's what I kept telling you. I already know you got it. You know, you had these hating sisters trying so hard to make you relapse. You know, trying so hard. You know?
You have a super sticker there.
Yeah.
That's for you.
Yeah. Mars demonstration. Shout out to you, Break Bro. Thank you for the super chat. Big old salute to Sister Nicole and her overcoming.
Do you remember when I hit like when it was 2 years, it was like, wow, it's been 2 years already, and the time has just been
word, right? I was like, damn.
Thank you, Mars demonstration. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Let me ask you this now. How do you find your strength during difficult situations? Not only your problem with being sober, but let's say people constantly trying to bang on you, people trying to call your name out to get you to respond to them. How do you deal with that? Do you automatically respond, or do you say, you know what, I'm gonna ignore them and just let them die?
My ignore game is so tight. My no contact is so tight. The only time you ever hear me respond to something is if it has to do with somebody I care about. Usually it's someone in my chat that's close to me. Like I have, you know, my two mods are my right hand. I depend on them. I lean on them. When it comes to like social media type stuff, that's when I see things getting out of hand, I will respond. But for the most part, for people trying to get my attention, I have so many people bringing up my past. I have so many people trying to tell people, oh, she did this, she did that. So it takes a lot. And the only reason I keep going, why I have not given up, my channel's been struck. My channel's been, because I talk about Trump, you know, so I'm always fighting appeals and strikes and all kinds of stuff every day, almost every day. The only thing though, I saw that I keep going back to, because it would be easy for me just to stop and not go. But I keep going back to that promise that I made that if I were to pull through this, because when I overdosed, my body shut down, like my organs was starting to fail. Couldn't eat, couldn't do anything. So I said, I've got to be able to, even if I just share the days sober I have and I don't talk about it, which I do on YouTube and TikTok, I got to keep doing that. So I know that people are going to criticize me. I know that people are going to say, look at what she did years ago. I get in my chat. People come in my chat. I can go to another person's chat. That's why I don't go. They're always going to talk about what I did, what I've, just that bad side, because with addiction comes a lot of stuff. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. It does. There's a lot of bad things that happens. So I have to keep that in mind as I go, because there's always somebody hating on me. There's always somebody calling me names, junkie, all kinds of stuff. Just really the nastiest things that you can think of is what they will say about me. And that's okay, because I focus on who I am today. And another thing that helps me is I consider the source. What type of woman is coming at me? Is she a hard-faced, angry, mad woman that's happy because sorry, so that I said I was gonna behave. Mad because
she weighs 300 pounds.
She's probably gonna be mad because I still believe in, even though I don't care about my past, that's why I'm single and stuff like that. I still believe in femininity. I still believe that women are the nurturers, and some women I feel, because I've taken the steps. Now I'm not perfect and I'm not there. I have a lot of things to work on, But one of the things I still believe in is like I had to get together healthy. I'm obviously a lot heavier than I used to be when I was under the influence. But you have to kind of know this is my story. I can't change that story. I can change the ending. So when you
Right.
already know that
There
and
you
you
go.
accept that about yourself, then you can handle people criticizing you and scrutinizing you because they're not your audience and they're not the ones that your message is for. My audience understands me and I'm okay with that.
Okay. I want everybody to know. I just dropped the link to Misunderstood channel. Y'all could go in there, click that link, make sure y'all subscribe to Misunderstood, and go get that political information. She goes in on the Donald Trump and all that stuff, man. So I might ask you a little bit about that before we end the show. But I want to
There's a lot of people that disagree with me over there. I did a poll. My chat is majority Democrat. And they come up almost whenever I do an open panel and they debate me, and we have healthy discussions over there. So
right.
they're not Trumpers and all that stuff.
So let me ask you this last question, and then I'm gonna ask you about what's going on. How do you feel about what's going on now in the political world? What advice would you give your younger self about navigating the world?
You don't have to care what other people think about you. You don't have to care. I would focus on myself. I've always been a people pleaser. I've always been worried about other people, how I've come across. I've been a people pleaser. I would give a lot to, even if, I mean, in a sane amount, I would always invest in people thinking they have my best interest in mind. I would tell myself to be cautious because the average person, most people want to hurt you. And they take advantage of nice people, so to be careful. Mm-hmm. And obviously, for my younger self, I would say, I mean, everybody gets the message not to do drugs, But that's what I was talking about when you asked me about women and what would I say to people about women when they're judging women and looking at women is you really have to consider a woman's background, because if that young child, this isn't the same for everybody. Everybody has a different story. But if you go through abuse, physical and otherwise, that child is going to have a different course in life. Sometimes they'll self-medicate and they won't understand why. So that's why I'm big on not harming a child, because I could easily say, hey, I was telling myself not to use drugs. Well, I tell my family to not put me in a position to where someone can hurt a child, and maybe the course of life would have been different. So I don't really judge myself that way. I don't judge. So I would be a lot more forgiving of myself, and I would have just focused on myself as a young girl and not worried about being a people pleaser. But some women that are people pleasers come out that way because they were harmed as a child, and they learned that from something that happened to them in an early experience. So you see why I need a guy that's intelligent? That's just a lot to understand.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the attempted assassination on your president?
I think it's horrible, sa.neter. I think it's horrible. I was so sad. I actually called somebody when it happened because I thought that we were going to kind of grieve together. And they started laughing at me. They're like, that's what you called me for? They started laughing. I was so mad. I was like, did you see what happened to the president? How could this happen? I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible. Now, I know a lot of people are saying it's staged. I know what people are saying, and the conspiracies. Regardless of who the president is, trying to take out the leader makes this country very unstable. And people are so radicalized that they want to take out the leader. If you were to take out Donald Trump, all you would do is replace him with J.D. Vance.
Right. I want to give a shout out to Uncle Claude Sports and Things, because I always see him over there with you. When I always see him over there. And he over there getting it in as well. So shout out to that brother. Good for the brother. But let me ask you, Nicole, why you love Donald Trump so much, though?
Donald Trump, okay, I didn't say I love Donald Trump. I
like you love Donald Trump. Yeah, you love Donald Trump. Come on.
Yeah, shout out to Claude and Doc. They hold me down. But okay, so so we're over there and we talk about a lot of stuff. I do believe in protected borders, and I believe in men being men and women being women. And I didn't like the lines being blurred. Men being in women's sports I want men to be in men's sports. I don't care if they're wearing a dress. And I live in California. That was a big deal for me. It was a big deal for my kids. One of my biggest things were the protected borders, though. I live in California. I did not like the idea of open borders. I have filmed being at the border with people just crossing. You have border patrol and everyone else right there, and they just cross. I've seen it. And when Kamala was running, it bothered me when she did that 60-minute interview, and she said that she wanted it to be for prisoners to have free, well, at the cost of the state, gender reassignment surgery if they felt the need. Why should prisoners get that? Because they're locked up. Why should that be at taxpayers' expense? She just ran a bad race, and we didn't get a primary. We didn't get to pick Kamala or Donald Trump. We didn't get to pick them, so it was the better out of who was the better ones out of the two for me.
Mm-hmm.
Neither was a perfect candidate, but with Donald Trump being in office, I stand behind the person in office because he's the one that was picked to lead the country.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying. Oh man, so I want you to
he's saying that you skipped his donations and his comments. It wasn't on purpose, bro. Trump said.
Let me see. Where is it at? Let me stroll up.
It might be too far. So his comment was, "Be that voice." Oh, real Trump said, "I don't think you realize that I am in sa.neter's chat right now." I shared it on my community wall. If you want to come over here.
What's his name?
Real Trump said.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
Oh, there he is. Thank you for giving her a platform. Oh, thank you, Real Trump said. They're funny. My supporters are so funny.
Yeah. Hey, let me bring in one of my brothers here. Brother Suntan, what's up, man?
Hold on. Let me. What's up, Si?
What's going on?
You see, we knocked them off tonight.
Yeah, y'all better have, because I would have been happy as hell.
I know. You already talking about I'm hiding under the bed. How you doing, Miss Understood?
How you doing?
All right, I'm Suntan. I got one question for you. Through Trump presidency, what do you got to say about him, like removing blacks, removing statues and erasing our history, so to speak? And then when he say things like, we need to bring good white people over here from Sweden and stuff like that and leave the Africans over where they at. When he say stuff like that, how did that make you feel, knowing that you support him and he's kind of, being divisive? What would you say to that?
I don't like everything about the Trump administration. Those things are problematic. But Donald Trump can't really act alone on certain stuff like that. I know that it's harmful for some people. But a lot of things Donald Trump says, number one, he trolls a lot in some of his language. And that's not funny for a lot of people, especially when you have a sensitive subject like that. I'm well aware of that. As far as not bringing people in from African countries, I don't think we can deny that there's a lot of fraud that happens in some of these countries with these romance scams, and we've lost billions of dollars to fraud in other countries. But I can't say that Donald Trump has said those things, because I haven't heard Donald Trump say that he's not going to let people from Africa and other places come in. But he does talk about countries where a lot of fraud happens and takes place.
Okay. Well, you probably, I don't think you missed what I said, but what I'm saying is he actually said that we should bring some good white people. He's actually used that verbiage from like Sweden and all these other states. And that right there kind of show you his position. And again, like on his policy on making America great again, when he say that, and now we pay him starting wars, he said he wouldn't start, and then making the economy better and saying it got to be worse before it get better. But it seems like it's keep getting worse and worse and worse. And when is the better going to come? And then the fact that he's a billionaire doing all these deals. First president, mind you, because I'm 66. First met president, mind you, I saw making all these deals while in the presidential office, like the crypto coins, selling shirts. He doing all of this sort of stuff, enriching himself while middle class black people, and I just say I'm gonna make a blanket statement, all people, because he had they was questioning white people at gas pumps, you know, middle class Trump voters, and they was asking them how do they feel about him now, and they was like they just regret all voting for him and all that. Did you ever get to that point where you regretted like voting, or you still even on his
I would
policy?
never vote for somebody that preached about the things that the Harris administration was teaching. I would not vote for anyone, Republican. You're not going to get it from a Republican nor Democrat if they preached about, if they were for open borders. So what other option did I have? Kamala was talking about, and not only that, things too. One of the things that matter to me and a lot of other conservatives is we didn't want our children under 18 to have gender reassignment surgery. I hear the things that you're saying. I'm said, okay, I'll give you that. Now, South African countries, what Trump was talking about, he didn't say all of Africa. I hear you on those issues. But the other choice was Harris. Did you, well, let me ask you, well, let me say this now. I have a question for you. When you take a child under 18, and she was pushing for this child to have gender reassignment surgery if they felt like it, and the parents didn't have say so because it's the child's right. Do you agree with that?
No. And I'm just gonna let you know I'm biased. However, I'm gonna be truthful with you because I have a heart. I don't care who doing it, and I'm sure my brother sa.neter don't appreciate it because we having this diatribe right now of men going in the bathroom with girls because he got a daughter. He wouldn't want no trans going in the bathroom with his daughter. I don't have no daughters, but I don't like that. And then I don't like the wrestling part, the sports part, because a man is a man, a lady is a lady. So them policies are giving, right? But at the same token, as he do make his policies, and then I kind of understand what you're saying about Camilla, because I didn't like her thing when she just broadly say, I stand with Israel. All of this kind of stuff, that's just for propaganda. So she had some bad points. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't vote because I just held my vote because I wasn't voting on him. You know, and even though he did some good for Detroit, he got our ex-mayor out of prison. He had 28, he got Kwame Kilpatrick out of jail. So Trump is divisive, but his divisiveness can hurt us. At the time, he'll help if it can help him. He'll help us if it can help him. But when the cards is all down on the floor, I think he's a bad choice. So you can ask me a question if you want. I thought you said you wanted to ask something.
Did you you don't have to tell me who you voted for, but were you for Biden?
You know what? If he run it against Trump, between him and Trump, I would pick Biden, I guess, because I didn't really like Biden. You know, Biden wrote the crime bill back in the early 2000s, right? He wrote the black bill. I mean, the bill that put so many of our brothers and sisters in jail, and they was all okay with it. And then he gonna make these controversial statements talking about if you ain't voting on, if you ain't black, you wouldn't. You know, all of this kind of stuff, blackity black stuff. You know, and then, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not a real political guy, you know, because this system is not for us anyway. It's just that we pulled ourselves as individuals. I'm making a blanket statement. We pulled ourselves up our own, shoes, and we got ourselves together. We got a lot of wealthy people and people who making it as black people, but I got people right now who vote for Trump, you know, and I live in Detroit. So, you know, it's a toss up to me. And I was just wondering, you know, because I watch you every time you come on, you made a point, but we got to just, you know, I just say, you know, I'm at a stalemate with it, you know, because you're a conservative, I guess.
I'm a conservative.
Right. Is that right? Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So, you know, being that I listened to a couple of people, and then they tell me, they say, well, a lot of black people is conservative. What are you conservative about? You know what I'm saying? Could you explain that?
Absolutely. Traditional values, which means, because I know that can be interpreted different ways. When I'm talking about what I was on the fence with everyone else. Just because I am Republican does not mean I will vote Republican every single time. And I have not voted Republican every single time.
Okay.
I'm going to vote for the person that is best for the country. We didn't get a primary. We had two put there. So we didn't get to choose who was going to be the Republican candidate, who was going to be a Democratic president. We didn't get that. Kamala set herself there and said that we need to pay. She's pushing this this like I said, the gender reassignment surgery, and then it came to the kids. And I live in California. I live in a very liberal state. So and don't forget, we're familiar in California. We're very familiar with Kamala Harris here.
Right.
And there's things that I get what you're saying. I hear you about the Black artifacts and I hear you. Those things can be changed. But if you change the gender of a child before they can fully understand what is going on, you have lost my vote. I do not care. I'm going to vote the other way. And of course, Donald Trump said, "Oh no, we're not doing that." I was fed up with the calling. My daughter is young. When my daughter's like asking me, "Do I want to know her pronouns?" Pronouns? What? So now I have to learn they and them, and you want to be called a her. So I'm not for those things because no other country does that. It makes us look weak. But all of that stuff can be changed. What cannot be changed is if you mutilate a child, because that's what you're doing, before they could fully understand what is going on. You already lost my vote there. So no president. This is why I was asking you about Biden, because people love to talk about, I'm not judging you. Oh, Donald Trump said this, and Donald Trump said that to black people or about black people, which you got to take everything in context. But then I say, well, what about Biden not wanting his kids to be in the same school with blacks? What about Biden not wanting his kids to be on the same bus? People forget. And when you call out the former President Biden's racism, he said, "Oh, I was cured of that. I was cured."
Yeah,
and everybody just accept it. So I have trouble believing. If you want to call out racism, call it out on both sides. Call it out on both sides.
You I know your position, and I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. I know your position. However, I want to know on the controversy side of us being not politically sound, but economically sound. You know about Dr. Claude Anderson, right? Do you deal with that?
No,
you know that? You don't know? You ain't never heard of Dr. Claude Anderson? I would recommend you after the show, pull him up online, or you can pull him up now. He's an economist, right? He's been dealing with the economy of the government for over 50 years. sa.neter, you familiar with Dr. Claude, right? Oh, you can't hear you. You muted.
How are you going to ask the godfather of conscience? Moneynomics?
But Moneynomics? You went up on him.
You want to say Moneynomics?
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, brother. I've been out there with Dr. Claude Anderson and all them for years, brother.
I know, man. I know.
Godfather of consciousness.
All right.
Man, I don't believe it.
Just lay back.
I don't know that one, you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, that kind of threw me to A side. That kind of threw me that she didn't know.
No,
because she seems very
it didn't throw me. I knew she didn't know because this is not her field right here.
Yeah, but
you knew I didn't know that song. Yeah,
Powernomics. That's right. Powernomics. That's right. Indigenous black man. Powernomics 1, Powernomics 2.
Yeah.
Dr. Claude Anderson. But for you, my brother, you suntan, get Dr. Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power, man. A moral, political, and economic imperative for the 21st century. Get that's a big book like this, brother.
Right. I'm up on Dr. Amos Wilson, but so I go to the economic part of it because that's half our struggle misunderstood as black people. And I'm making a blanket statement. We pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? But through this oppression of over 400 years, being redlined, gerrymandered, and all these sorts of things, black people have not reached their full potential because During this time, they had went through a thing where there was no psychological help. Rather than get some psychological help, they got drugs. Drugs was their psychological help. Drugs was that pill. They can hit some weed or do something and not, I feel all right. And that's not a good look for us. And that's the only, I wouldn't say the only, but that because we didn't bring drugs over here on no big ships. We didn't do all of that. But once they got here, we used it as a pacifier, as a, a unit. You know what I'm saying? Our culture drugs is engraved in our culture, right? You see me dressed out somewhere nice, looking real nice. Not this day, but I would give about 10 years ago, you see me out somewhere real flashy. First thing a person gonna think is drug dealer. So that's why I mentioned Dr. Claude Anderson, and Dr. Amos Wilson is most powerful because sa.neter, he's a militant. He may not be as active as he was out in the streets, but he's very militant minded. So misunderstood, we must keep our economics together, or we still not gonna go nowhere, no matter what you conservative, Republican, Democrat. If you can't look in the mirror and got your whole self together, then how can we help somebody else as a community?
I agree with you. Now, the first thing I thought of this person, which I don't know anything about, I will study it, and I appreciate it. I love when I can learn something new. My first thing was author for some reason, but I didn't know. I could tell you nothing about what he stands for or believes. So I'll look into that. I'm with you. When it comes to finances, now, hey Trish, when it comes to finances, I used to speak about that all the time on my panel. I'm heavy on finances. I'm heavy on economics. I may not know all of the TC is gonna know that. She's a historian. Like, she's gonna know. But
you got people in your chat that's conscious, man.
Yeah.
Look at them.
My chat is vast. Like, most of my chat's Democrat. TC knows all about that. I mean, I don't know, but now I'm gonna have to do my homework. I do my homework. When it comes to, so I appreciate that, and you telling me that. I do believe in finances, economic, and I also believe in power, which means that we have to understand. We may not like politics or the government, but we do have to have an understanding of how these things work, especially talking about Black people and Black independence. We have to have a basic understanding of how things work. 100%. I can understand a person not voting in the election for the presidential candidate because that goes by the electoral vote. But the other things on the ballot is the popular vote. So our voice does matter because our ancestors, there's a reason why they have fought so hard for us to vote. Even if you don't like Donald Trump, I still tell people, go out and vote. I say that during my chat. But finances, I really love financial literature, understanding it. That's why I said earlier, which I did not elaborate on, when we were talking about couples and relationships. I'm big on finances because I'm big on comfort and the security of a family. No matter what that guy has, no matter what that guy brings to the table, I can build from it. I can start a business. I can do something. I've always been good at starting something from nothing. And if you understand, it doesn't matter if you're the wealthiest person in the world, if you make $300,000 a year, but at the end of that year, you spend $400,000, you are in debt versus somebody who makes $80,000 a year. And at the end of that year, they end up with $30,000 because they didn't spend as much. That person is wealthier than that person that made $300,000 because what they ended up at the end of the year is actually greater. So I do understand finances and how things work. And at the basic level for anyone else, I think it's important for our people to be taught. You notice they don't teach financial literature in school because they want you to work for someone. They want you to make that company wealthier. So we have to understand the power of a dollar. We have to understand, if I have $100, I'm keeping it simple. If I have $100, I better just spend $40 of it and pay myself the $60 and save it. Because if I have $100, and I spend 110, I am in debt, and that person that makes less than me, if he ends up with more, is wealthier. But we're not taught that in school because they want us to be dependent. They want us to that rat race. If you give me a check, you're telling me that that's how much I am worth. I'm going to keep chasing that check. I have to understand how to earn a passive income, how to make my own money grow. So that way, that's why I said, and that's why I'm saying to the women that want the guys to make that much and they're spending all their money, it's better if you learn how to take whatever he gives you and make it into something of your own.
Right.
All
Absolutely.
right. Hold on. TC is shouting out some names here. I might have to interview her. Nicole,
TC
you gotta hook us.
out in the chat. TC and I have our heaviest debates.
Oh man, you might have to hook me up with her, Nicole. She mentioning Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Marimba Ani. Oh man,
Yeah.
Professor James Smalls.
She got Khalid up there.
Yeah, she got my teacher up there. Wow. Hold on. Let them know who I am, goddamn, because they don't know who I am. They don't know who I am.
There you go.
They don't know who I am, man. She got Dr. Khalid up there. She got my leader up there, my teacher. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's that militant force. That's that militant force, brother.
Yeah, that's sa.neter, the chairman of the Harlem chapter of the Black Panther Party. Force.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, oh man, CT, I'm surprised I don't know CT.
You might have
I introduced you to her. I told her. I introduced you to TC. That's my sis. TC was one of my first debates with, not even a debate, discussion with a Democrat that made me say, wait a minute, we're on the same page here. We're on the same page. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. Like, we could speak and converse. And she's involved. She's actually involved with these things. So she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, she definitely do. I see that.
I know she know about Claude then, you know.
Yeah, she got to know about Claude.
Dr. Anderson, misunderstood, been preaching economics for over 50 years, you know, because he even talked about this right here. I'm not throwing no kind of shade at your complexion, but he said him being very light and white, almost white, made it more easy for him to negotiate through the our federal government. You know, he made those sort of statements, and he said he acknowledged he was sort of like the spook who sat by the door. He was sort of like with them, but he was for us. He learned so much, and I learned so much from him. So I think it'd be advantageous for you to read that book, because that's why I brought him up, because of the conversation you and sa.neter had. I feel like you need to know a little something about the economics coming from Dr. Claude Anderson, because he can hit some corners that you probably didn't miss, you know, in the future. So like I said, I think it's good reading. He's very good reading and listening to. You know, he makes very great speeches as well.
I'm always willing to learn, because I don't have all the answers.
Right. Me too.
I will gladly study that.
Yeah, I guarantee you're gonna dig where you're coming from, you know. So with that said, like I said, I'm not into politics, and I got friends to deal with here who talking about Trump, man. Trump making it. I say, dude, how is he making it better for you? What is he doing? Well, now I'm able to do this and get my tax money back, and he opens it up for you can get the government up so you can get your money the legal way. Because this guy who I'm telling you about, he did a bit in college. When we say college here in Detroit, we mean prison. He did about 15, 20 years, but now he's out and he works for the city, and he got him a bachelor degree ever since he's been out, and he's working on his master's now, and he works for the city at a high position. So he goes for Trump as well. And like I said, it's just intriguing to see how people go that way when Trump tried to throw shade at us, and Carmela, she was doing the blackity black thing, but I wasn't really with her either. So I just held my vote on a presidential level. But I did the hometown voting, for what can help me in this city of Detroit.
That's important, because the state enforces the law. How you doing, brother? The state enforces the law.
Hey, Brother Reggie.
So I have a lot of respect for that. And I tell people, you know what, even if you don't vote for the presidential campaign, your local representatives are the ones that you need to know.
Right.
And that goes by the popular vote. So just the fact of you saying that is really powerful, that people need to hear. So shout out to you for doing that. And more people need to do it.
That's 100%.
What's going on, Dr. Reggie? You got a question?
Yes, misunderstood. How do you feel about Donald J. Trump's ratings now in America? as far as the war, as far as economics, the gas prices. What do you say about his low ratings?
There's been presidents that's had low ratings before, and they still were able to run a second term. Donald Trump has had a lot of hits when it comes to promising no unnecessary wars. I can give you guys that, but some people are going to say, well, this war was necessary because of certain things that was going on. How do I feel about it? Donald Trump is the one that's in office now, and this is his last term. So regardless of how I feel about the low ratings, we have him for a little over 2 years.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. But his ratings are as low as Nixon during Watergate. It's among the lowest of all presidents of the United States. It's at 33%. So these are Democrats and Republicans saying that Donald Trump is not leading the country the way that they thought, based on the economy, based on not sending soldiers to war. So I think we kind of covered that. I think that the statistics, the polling says what Americans feel about it. And you might be right that he may not have another, it might be the ending of his term, but in Donald J. Trump's mind, what do you think about this this shooting and the building this banquet hall? What do you think about that?
Number one, polls can be manipulated. Polls can be manipulated. It's a sample group. The ballroom, if Donald Trump is using private money, it's not coming from taxpayer dollars like people want to say. I don't have a problem with ballroom. Is it at my highest level of concern? No, but that's what Donald Trump is doing. I feel that we have other issues that are of a bigger concern to me. But as far as Donald Trump building a ballroom, if he's going to entertain people and use it for whatever reason, that's not really my highest concerns. It would be a higher concern if it was coming from taxpayer dollars.
It is, because he's increasing the Homeland Security bill from 200 billion to 400 billion. And part of that is, in fact, now to use taxpayer dollars to build the banquet hall. So that is a fact, and that you can check. What do you think about the new assassination of Donald J. Trump?
I'm still going to say that if the money for the ballroom was coming from somewhere other than what he's saying, as much as people hate Donald Trump, that would be very public.
It is public.
I'm not saying
you can look it up. You can look it up. Donald J. Trump, Homeland Security increased to $400 billion.
I'm not saying that, but it's not saying that it's increased because of the ballroom. It's not saying that they increased it to build a ballroom.
Yes, it is. You can.
But the sources are. But the source that you're citing doesn't say that it's being funded. It's being increased so we can pay for this ballroom.
Did you read it?
Did I read all of it? I know why. I know where the money for the ballroom is coming from. But
Where?
Let me ask you another question, because we're from private donors and from his own money.
No, that's but what I'm just trying to say is that Donald J. Trump wants America to build the ballroom, and that's news.
Yeah, I heard it too, but I think Misunderstood might got some news we don't know about.
Right, but the news, what the difference is, whether I know that he was looking for private investors, and I know he that is what he said earlier, but now he's looking for taxpayers to pay for the big beautiful banquet ball.
Are you able to cite a source to where he's saying that this money is being raised for a ballroom?
I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Did y'all go ahead and talk?
Yeah. So,
source, please.
So while we're doing that, what do you think about the assassination attempt?
I think it's horrible. I think it's awful. No matter what you think about a person's opinion, they have the right. You don't have the right to take a person's life. Okay. I think it's horrible. I think
I agree with.
I think that people are so caught up in their emotions. I think it's very telling that this person was 31-year-old teacher that felt so strong in his beliefs and so radicalized that he felt the need to take out the president. There's got to be another way. Regardless of who I like in office, I wasn't happy with everybody in office, but I never thought about taking their life.
Of course not. Did you read the latest news that that the Secret Service shooting might have been friendly fire?
Fake news.
Rather than
Fake news.
you said fake news.
Yeah.
They haven't. Reporters are asking. Wait, what is fake news?
This was
Everybody
anything implying that this was staged. It was not staged. No one. Someone got shot.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it was staged.
I didn't say that you did. I didn't say that you said it. But there's a lot of things being said about the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. It's ridiculous that there was 3 within his presidency, and people feel so strongly that they want to take out the president. I think that that's a problem in the United States. I think that's when you're taking your freedoms. You have to realize that regardless if we like Donald Trump or not, our president being assassinated makes our country unstable. It will make our country unstable. It's unheard of. It's not a bright moment.
Right. I am not advocating that you go and take violence against a sitting president. Right. I'm not advocating that. I am. But you said that when I asked you about what happened during the ballroom, I mean, not the ballroom shooting, you said fake news. And that's what I'm asking.
I didn't say fake news to that. No, don't twist my words. I didn't say fake news to that. I strictly said it about the stage, about people saying that it was staged and planned. That's what I don't want to be misquoted. And then when it came to the other thing you said, all I said, which I think is fair, is cite the source, because like I said, I'm always willing to learn. Let me read it for myself. That's all I said.
Okay, that's fine. And that's okay. So I'm just asking you questions. It's not.
I don't mind questions. Personal. I don't mind questions.
It's not right. It's not personal. I'm just asking you general.
Personal. I like to know things to read and know things for myself. So okay, let me see.
All right, here you go. Right here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. But it's not
okay. So I'll take mine down. I'll put you.
Well, you can keep yours.
I'll put yours.
Just 1 second. Let me put it up there for you.
Okay.
You can read it yourself. Because I'm on another one now. There you go, Reggie. See how? Because it's insinuating what me and you were saying. However, it's not proof, because it only goes as far as like he's going to try to push his way to that. Like he's being slick about it. It's in the chat right there. You can pull it up if you got it up already. Let me see.
Me? Oh, me? Is it on me?
Yeah, Reggie or Sa can pull it up. I got that information that they wanted. Answer. You want to read it, Reggie?
Yeah. There's no definitive confirmation.
Hey, yo, hold on. Suntan.
Yes.
When you get in sources, you got to make sure you get where it's coming from, brother. You can't just put that up. You gotta.
Yeah, I understand that. This is where the peak of this is coming from.
Yeah, you gotta say where's it coming from, and nobody know that.
Right. Slider version GPT minus plus 5. That's where I get it all from, because there's over 155,000 sources in here.
Hey, I got TC in the building too, misunderstood.
Oh, okay.
Hi, TC.
Okay.
Hey.
I didn't see where the source was coming from.
I will put up.
Oh, okay. Because I wanna look.
I'll put up some sources. Put up some sources. So
listen, I know y'all getting ready to get deep into it, and I really appreciate it. I just wanted to say hello to sa.neter. First of all, hello to MU for having this absolutely awesome discourse, because this is what we need. This is what we really need to bring back. sa.neter, I know you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
sa.neter, we go. Listen, Khalid was my man. Okay. Coming to Philly. I'm in Philly.
Oh, okay.
Brother, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, as it is written. the birthplace of democracy as we know it, then New York, and then DC. Here's and we talk about this. MU, we always say, MU, you got to come to the East Coast so you can see where all this beautiful stuff got started from. And she's a chip off the old block because she is about ready to make a decision. So, but I just want to say, gentlemen, MU,
what I'm ready to make, sis. What kind of decision are we making?
About where you gonna come to first. Either you're gonna come to
you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But listen, I went to Egypt with Dr. Ben back in the 1990s. All right. Mm-hmm. And my mentors were Dr. Ben, Dr. Joseph Ben Jakanan, Dr. John Henry Clark, William Mackey, Amos Wilson. You know who I'm talking about. You understand me?
Yes.
All right. All of those folks, Professor Small. So we used to go to the Third World. We used to, then you all.
You don't know Dr. Reggie.
Listen, we know Doctor. Listen, I know light skin over there. I know light skin right there.
Okay,
but listen. And there are a lot of people that made things happen. And when you all came to Philly, you all came to like 52nd Street. Khalid was here all the time.
That's right. You was there? Because
I most certainly was.
We did something called on Christmas for that. In Philly, we did a presentation on Christmas and all that.
All of that. And well, I'm not gonna name the people, but you know who they are when you come. Listen, 52nd Street. We already know what it all means. So, listen, I was there, with the Pan-African nationalists, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? We were there with all of the Black Power movement, Bobby Seals. I came to Philly when Bobby Seals was here. That's what I was saying. We had Black men who were educated, and this goes back to something that MU and
Pam Africa.
Yes. Who doesn't know the Osage, the Pam?
You didn't bring
know.
Up,
I can't bring up everybody, bro. Listen. There's so many people that we know.
She's your hometown girl.
She's Philly.
Listen, but wait a minute. Hold up. I'm from Brooklyn originally. Let me explain. I'm from Brooklyn originally. I came to Philly for my master's degree graduate programs. So when I got to Philly, it was just a whole new world for me, and it was beautiful. And I appreciated the history that we have here. Everything that was started here, y'all know about Osage. I know y'all know the history. I know. Anyway,
Brooklyn, you from?
Canarsie.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. J Street, Avenue J, and Star City.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, when I went to school, what's his name? Detroit Pistons. What was his name?
Isaiah Thomas. That's going back.
No. Oh, no. Anyway, dude from the Detroit Pistons. He went there, and we were. It World Be Free. I don't know if you remember him, but y'all remember that whole movement. You remember? You understand what I'm saying? So we have a lot going on. And when I went to Africa,
Somebody in chat said Vinnie Johnson.
Nah.
If she talking World Be Free, that's back when Bing there was.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Johnny Sally.
Girl.
Yeah,
Johnny Sally.
Yeah,
Johnny Sally. Yeah, we're talking about real basketball players.
Right.
I'm messing. But when I went to Africa with Dr. Ben, it was Marimba Ani, Francis Cresswell's, Professor Smalls, Ashwa Kwesi. Mm-hmm. Okay, it was a couple other people, William and Julia Hare.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow! Okay.
We had some. Dr. Jewel Pookrum. Dr. Jewel Pookrum. All right.
Okay,
Now that
sis,
was
you and I,
my
You're dropping some heavy stuff, sister.
yeah, you and our family, you and me and sa.neter's family. We know all
Absolutely.
this. It's all
Absolutely. I've been watching you all. Listen, I'm here and I do what I do and things of that nature. We just fell in different parts of the YouTube shit, but that's we still, know each other. But the bottom line is that yeah, we've been around. I know you all and I'm grateful for
welcome
MU
home.
for
We
bringing
need
y'all back
more
around
sisters on this
to me
platform.
anyway.
We need more sisters on this platform, and certainly those that are from our circles, Pan-Africanism and Black Power. So come on, do a show with sa.neter.
See that, Reggie? I went to see him without you. I snuck.
You did.
Wow, look at there. Look at that.
See Dr. Ben while Reggie.
Look at Dr. Ben.
And I went with me, Africa, and Asante.
Yeah.
And you will see us with him in the car. And
Oh my God.
Tell you one thing you can't do with Dr. Ben is try to tell him what to eat. I made that mistake. I was like,
You told him what?
I said, one thing that you can't do with Dr. Ben is try to tell him what to eat and what not to eat. I
Exactly.
told him, eat this, and he went off on me. I said, oh, my bad, Dr. Ben.
Exactly. Because he was going to eat his pork. Listen, he was going to eat his pork, right, sa.neter?
Yep, that's right.
That's right.
Dr. Ben's favorite food. Dr. Ben's favorite food of all time. And you can get the most secret information, the most personal information from Dr. Ben with 2 ingredients: bacalao and a pineapple soda.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Those 2 things.
I'm sorry to bother y'all, but I got to let Miss Nicole close out for us, y'all.
I did want to show her this. Wait, stop. Wait. I did want to show her that. So I'm not capping. So let me just put it up.
But listen, I'm gonna bid you all a fair adieu. Thank you for having me. MU, you're awesome, and continue on your journey, sis. Because we gonna get this thing together. There are plenty and there are a plethora of sisters here in Philly. We still handle the biz-na-a, trust and believe. Okay, and trust me when I tell you, sa.neter, I'll connect with you. You'll know.
All right, peace, sister.
Peace.
All right now, peace. And all right, Uncle Claude, see you and everybody in the chat.
Thank you.
MU's chat. What's up? Peace out,
right.
y'all.
Hey, Reggie, come on, man, so I can let Mr. Nicole. Go ahead, Reggie.
Real quick. So I just wanted to show that from Reuters, U.S. Congress Republicans push legislation to fund Trump's $400 million ballroom. Right? That's not fake news. That's Reuters. From the Hill, Senate GOP pushes back on Trump's ballroom amid affordability worries. That's from the Hill. And then USA Today, longtime Trump ally backs ballroom, but not with taxpayers' fund. GOP plans for taxpayers to cover Trump's $400 million privately funded ballroom. That's not fake news. What's with Lindsey Graham's inappropriate fixation on Trump's Morris ballroom? And then there's another thing on Lindsey Graham that's basically asking taxpayers to push it. So I just want to add that it's not Mr. Cole. It's not fake news.
All right, thank you, Reggie. I'm gonna let Miss Nicole close out. She can close out on what you said and then close us out. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, Miss Nicole.
All right, peace, Sister Nicole.
Peace. Suntan.
Bye, brother. Thank you. Okay. I mean, okay. So the pushing it hasn't been voted on. I will definitely take that into consideration. Thank you for showing me the source so I can look it up. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know everything, and when you guys show me something, I do look into it. So I definitely appreciate that, so I can bring it to my audience and make sure that I'm well informed and aware. So I appreciate that. sa.neter, I appreciate you for having me over for the conversation, for talking about things that I haven't spoken about in a long time, and the love that you and your chat has shown me. We may disagree on politics, but I still believe in people first, people over policies. and that's what I care about. So I thank you for having me come over to have this conversation with you.
All right. I want to say thank you to you, of course, Miss Nicole, because as soon as I called you and said I need you to come through, you ain't missed a beat. You said when and where, and I'm there, and you're here.
Always.
You know,
Always.
and that was like a couple of days ago. Hey, what happened? That was a couple of days ago, and you're here. And so I want to say, you already know I got mad love and respect for you, Miss Nicole.
Thank you.
And it is what it is. So
thank you. Shout
let
out
me
to
know when you need me. Let me know when you need me to come on over to your joint. I'll definitely come through and show love over there.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, sa.neter. I will I appreciate you. I'll be in touch. Shout out to you guys. And again, you guys have a good night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, peace. Talk to you. Hey, Dr. Reggie. I just got one question for you, Reggie. Where you go, Reggie? I just got a question for y'all. Do y'all really know the Bible? Do y'all really know the Bible and the scriptures? So what you're about to hear is not slander. I'm just asking God a question, and I'm asking you the question. Did God really do that? That's all I want to ask you that.
You are now in the toughest and roughest environment. Don't make this a disappointment. This is the HOK where stars and legends are born. Hey, yo, Yara and Mr. Apostle, the Bible got you speaking static, thinking you dropping knowledge, sounding erratic. All you Israelites in easy bands to chasing the fame, while I'm out here banging on the Bible, mentioning your names. Did God really do that? What is you talking about? Changing scriptures up for Zodiac, looking for signs while I'm reading the word line by line, and you're just reading between you. A fraud is written all over your face, while the HOK is trying to free the minds with grace. White slave, master whip you, keeping you in your place. Check the pressure, backwash, your foundation is brittle. When you step into the HOK, don't act crazy, be civil. Apostle Yara, easy bands and all you Bible thumpers. Did God really tell Abraham to sharpen the knife? To take his only son and gamble with his life? Did God really send beds for kids play in the street just cause Elisha's bald head couldn't handle the heat? Easy bands, you out here quoting the Bible with Yara schemes, but your life is full of loopholes and nothing but dreams. The problem is not our women, it's you weak men in the dark, terrified, hiding behind the white man's shadow, no spark. You wrap the Bible around your mind, mental chains rust. Use the scriptures every time you talk, keep us in the dust. Israelites are crazy talking about the 12 tribe charts. The HOK break biblical facts down, tear you apart. Did God really turn a woman in a pillar of salt? That is crazy work, God, it's all your fault. Did God really send the plagues and kill the firstborn sons? The Bible is a bloody book, Passover, kill, the work is done. Did God really tell Moses, keep the virgins for yourself after burning down the cities and the idols on the shelves? Is this Bible really holy? Suit up. Move so cold and slowly, spare only the young girl. Take one for yourself, God said. Hand them down to Israelite to lay them in the bed. Damn, yeah. Did God really say if she's beautiful and bright, you could snatch her from her family in the middle of the night? Force her to the house, make her shave off her hair, clip her nail down while she's drowned in the fed. 30 days of weeping for the parents that you slew, before the holy law says she belongs to you. Damn, it's sa.neter, why the Israelites don't see this is wrong. As I react, you have some explaining to do.